stop. A family shop. Think Thayer. Come on, let's get rolling. Come on, let's get moving. Think Thayer.
Would you contrast what you saw from your team in the first two periods from what you saw in the third?
I'm not sure, John, how much of a difference. I mean, obviously we were on the bad side of 2 or 3 plays in the third. It's probably more like 6 or 7 plays, honestly, like a couple that ended up in our net. But we had a 5-on-3 with a 2-goal lead, and supposedly our top players out there, you know, with a power play. So I tell you, like, I liked our intensity, I liked our compete level tonight. We blew a 2-goal lead going into the third. That's something we have to get better at. We have to improve on, and we've got to finish. There's no doubt about it. They gave us every opportunity to finish that game off, and you can even go to the second period. We had a couple of empty nets that we just didn't finish on, and 4-2 doesn't seem that big of a deal, right? But we know better. Anyone that's seen enough sports knows that those opportunities come back to bite you, and that's what it did. That's what they did, excuse me. So I don't, to answer your question, I don't know if it was, I didn't like the way we started, but that was the power play. You know, that was the power play. We were flat on the power play. They had more urgency, they had more intensity. They knew they couldn't get to 5-2 and probably survive it. And they good for them, man. They showed that they weren't going to just stop playing. And unfortunately, our guys did, at least for a bit.
Kind of playing off into that, kind of stating the obvious here, but were special teams the difference?
Yeah, special teams were the difference. You show me a game where they're not. 12 power plays each is absolutely ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. We're not learning the lessons we were supposed to learn. We thought our guys would learn. A lot of our penalties were at a second effort, but it wasn't smart. It was reaching and holding and hooking when they turned a puck over versus just turn around and skate. And obviously they're 3 for 12 and we're 1 for 12, and we had plenty of opportunities. Again, that includes 5-on-3 opportunities for us that we just didn't look very good on, as far as I'm concerned.
Was there anything that you liked about the power play today, or was it all kind of just, how would you?
I thought we had pretty good zone time for the first 2 periods. I didn't like the way that we started the third, which I've said. You know, I thought there was plays made out there. We just, you know, the 2-on-0 we had was a power play opportunity. I liked the fact that we transitioned well, and at the end of the second there was some things we liked. Yeah, Ryan, there were some things I liked.
Is there any sort of frustration in general, not necessarily at the officials, but just when you're playing the majority of the game, either up a man or down a man? Is there any sort of frustration with not being able to get into a net?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I thought 5-on-5 we were pretty good. Sure it is, but that's something that we can change by not committing the infractions. But we continue to do it. So we'll have to. I don't know if you'd say tonight we learned the hard way. I mean, hopefully we learn from this and we stop taking so many penalties.
I know it's tough to judge a game like this from the goaltending perspective with so much power play, penalty kill. But is there any concern with you now that you've had 2 4-goal games?
Yes, yes, there is.
What does he have to do better?
Not letting so many pucks. He made some good saves early. I mean, I'm not an expert on the position, so I don't know. I mean, it's an obvious answer, and I don't mean to be a smart aleck about it. That's not what I'm trying to do, but I'd like to see a 4-goal lead going into the third be over with as far as he's concerned, and that's not what happened. Or a 2-goal lead going into the third. I'm sorry, a 2-goal lead going into the third. Sorry.
Chris, could you kind of sum up what the emotion is after?
The emotion is like a loss, John, but I can tell you that I'm not going to talk out of both sides of my mouth. I don't like the ties, right? It goes down as a tie from a national perspective, and I hope we get that right. I hope nationally we go to what the NHL does. Get rid of the 5-minute overtime, 5-on-5, go right to 3-on-3, and then do a shootout, just like the NHL does. And if the game is ended, it's ended. Because you're not going to get ties. The emotion in the locker room is we lost. You see the way their emotion is they won. I mean, that's the way they feel, and we'll have to deal with that for the first 5-7 minutes of tomorrow night's game for sure, from a momentum standpoint. But the fact is, both teams get a tie. So that's the deal. Those are the emotions. We lost and they won, emotionally. From a record standpoint, it's a tie, and I thought we got better today than what we played last weekend, which from a coaching perspective, that's good. We were a handful at times tonight.
But I'm guessing that the good is tempered by the it wasn't good enough.
Oh, for sure. You have a 2-goal lead at home going into the third, and you blow it. It's not good enough, for sure. And I'm only talking about. I don't feel good about the result. If it's us down 2 goals going into the third, and we come back and tie it up, now you feel better about that, right? So we're gonna take the good, because we played better than we did last weekend for more of the time. But now we get down to a play here, a play there. We get down to 10 power plays. We get, now we start to break it down, and the coach comes out in me, and we start to try to make adjustments. So.
Chris Bolkamp, was he a healthy scratch?
He was, yeah.
And what was the biggest part of getting off to a good start to the start of the game?
I think just the energy in the building, home opener. We were hungry. I think, Zane, there's a little bit of trying to make amends for last weekend. I don't think our guys were happy with that at all. They wanted to come out and do better, and that's what we did. Thanks a lot.